Hey guys, and welcome to the Working Money Channel. So guys, as you know, it is Sunday today, and there's not too much going on in the crypto space. All right, we got the entire market. It's up a little bit, but this is Bitcoin on the daily. We are still waiting, essentially just still waiting for something to occur. And it seems like it's been this way now for a couple of months. In this video, I'm going to talk a little bit more about the economy as a whole, Trump's trade war with China, and the idea of the dreaded negative interest rate. So that's what this video is going to be about. It does tie into cryptocurrency. This from Mark Loeffler on Twitter. That's at Mark Loeffler. If you gave me $100 today, would you accept $99 as repayment 10 years from now? And this is a question you have to ask yourself. When you put your money in the bank, you expect to get a return even from a basic savings account, right? A couple of percent. 15 years ago, you were getting 5-6% in a savings account. These days, we haven't been getting that, but a lot of people are concerned because negative interest rates are slowly creeping into Europe, and that has to do with the state of the economy and how it just isn't as robust as it used to be. So banking systems in Japan, Germany, France, and other European countries, negative interest rates are becoming more and more prominent. So negative interest rates where the lender gets paid back less than they've loaned now add up to 30% and counting of the global tradable bond universe. That's according to JP Morgan. You may have seen, for instance, that Germany just sold the first negative yielding 30-year bond issue. In case you're wondering, yes, this is crazy. It's really unusual and really distorting the global financial system, says Torsten Slok, chief economist at Deutsche Bank Securities. I spend all my time talking about it. This is not going to end well. So this is also part and parcel to where we're going economically and the fact that people should be concerned about the economy. If you have any traditional investments, you probably should talk to your advisor and you probably should rethink where you're allocating your money. And you notice I say, guys, talk to your financial advisor because I am not a financial advisor, so I can't advise you to do that. I'm just saying what I would do if I were you. So negative interest rates are counterintuitive, unprecedented, and to my mind, mind-bendingly insane and downright scary. They are like a parallel universe where everything you've ever learned about finance and human behavior is turned upside down. Worse, negative rates are being normalized by economists, bankers, and commentators. Worst, I have a funny feeling it will end badly. Negative interest rates have all the hallmarks of serious trouble for the financial markets, an anomaly growing in scale which seemingly came out of nowhere that is under-recognized, poorly understood, and dismissed as non-consequential. So it gives a few more examples here. This story continues, so they get into the history of negative interest rates as well, guys. I will link this in the description. Essentially, when the economy is in trouble, this is what happens. And you know what also occurs when people get blindsided with negative interest rates in countries where they're not used to that? Something called a run on the banks. And what a run on the banks is people going to every single bank machine in their community trying to withdraw as much money as possible so they can have cash on hand whenever they need it. Now, cash on hand, usually people don't keep cash under their mattress because, well, it doesn't gain value that way. We have bank accounts, we put our cash safely in a bank account, it gains interest, usually, but if the bank is taking money from your savings account, what is the benefit of keeping your money in a bank? You may as well just take it out, put it under the mattress, at least you know it won't lose any value there. Well, with a run on the banks comes problems. There isn't enough money to take out. The banks don't have all your money. Chaos ensues. Fights ensue, sometimes resulting in death. This isn't funny. This is something real that we should be concerned about. So there could be lineup for days at banking machines, people trying to get their money out, banks closing, banks telling people we just don't have enough money to pay everybody because, well, we're borrowing all your money. People don't want to hear that their money isn't safe. So if this comes to countries in Europe, and even worse, the United States, we could be in for a whole world of hurt. And historically, why this is important for us to talk about is because you and I already have crypto accounts open. We can funnel money into our crypto accounts and we at least know that our money is in cryptocurrency and hedged against regular fiat, whether it's Bitcoin, XRP, whatever you choose to put your fiat in to hedge against this economic nonsense is your business. I saw this from the Daily Hodl as well. Investors plowing money into Bitcoin amid US-China trade war, says a Business Insider. New analysis of data from the trading platform eToro indicates traders have been plowing money, quote unquote, plowing money into Bitcoin since the US-China trade war began. The data highlights 3 key dates that Bitcoin trades rose sharply on the exchange. The first date, May 25th. Positions soared 139%, okay, as China raised tariffs on $60 billion of US goods. The second, June 25th, and the third, August 13th. So guys, this is happening. This is not something that we are imagining. People are realizing very quickly that this could be very bad for the economy, and so they are looking to hedge their bets. Now, Bitcoin has gone up significantly. We're in a resting period right now. We are still hovering at that $10,100 mark. XRP trading at 20.274 cents. Okay. It would be nice if I could go to any restaurant or any grocery store or go onto Amazon and buy stuff with my XRP today. If that were the case, a large portion of my fiat would be converted to cryptocurrency, just because in a case like this where, negative interest rates are looming and a potential serious financial crisis is on the horizon, at least if you could safeguard your wealth, put it into crypto, but then if you could use your crypto to buy goods and services, that would benefit people, because we still have to pay our bills, right? We still have to buy groceries, buy clothing, buy gasoline. We still have to live our lives. Unfortunately, we are not living in that situation right now, but I believe that will come. A crisis is looming. In one of these articles, somebody was saying that, the US has been in a recession for 2 decades already. I believe it was this one, from Zero Hedge, retweeted by Love for Crypto. And so they're talking about what globalism did to transfer the US economy to China, and essentially how this isn't working out. The main problem with the US economy is that globalism has been deconstructing it. The offshoring of US jobs has reduced US manufacturing and industrial capability and associated innovation, research, development, supply chains, consumer purchasing power, and tax base of state and local governments. Corporations have increased short-term profits at the expense of these long-term costs. In effect, the US economy is being moved out of the first world into the third world. Tariffs are not a solution. And so they discuss the fact that, they want to put tariffs on China. But the problem with that is most of the companies that are in China are American companies. So they talk about Apple, Nike, Levi, so on and so forth. And if you are taxing American companies tariffs to come back to America, that just ain't gonna jive. And these business owners are obviously getting upset because of this. So there is a bit of a problem here. It was getting too expensive to manufacture in the United States, in the Western world essentially. And so over the last several decades, those jobs went to countries like India, China, Southeast Asia, so on and so forth. But now we're seeing a problem. Less jobs in the United States, more jobs in China, and Trump is looking to put tariffs on China, but the problem just isn't that clear cut. There's so many moving parts to this, and it is clearly affecting the state of crypto, plowing money into Bitcoin because of these trade wars. I was talking to my neighbor who is in fact a trader. He's a stock guy, makes a lot of money, understands the stock market inside and out. And back in December, when we were plummeting, let me go back to December. This is the S&P 500, okay? Guys, on the daily, this was back in December, late December. You remember that plunge, okay? And even crypto took a huge dive back then. I asked him, I go, are we in trouble? Is the market in trouble? Are we going to see a huge correction like we did in 2008, 2009? And the one thing he told me was this: look, the economy isn't actually doing that bad. There's a lot of growth. Emerging markets are doing fairly well, and the American market is rebounding. But the one wild card we have to keep an eye on is President Trump and the China tariffs. This is coming from a guy who does this day in, day out, probably 10 plus hours a day. Okay, guys, and since we are seeing such good prices for cryptocurrency like XRP right now, trading still under 30 cents, Bitcoin trading at about 10,100, right? Coming off its highs of 14,000. If I were a financial advisor, I'd advise to put as much as you can afford to hold, lock up into cryptocurrency for the foreseeable future. I am not a financial advisor, so I'm not suggesting that you do that. But realistically, if the market tanked, if there was some big trigger that caused an avalanche, and we saw ourselves in the same kind of liquidity crisis, I could see owning more cryptocurrency being a better bet than owning a lot of fiat at that point. And I know a lot of you guys probably go out to your friends and tell them, I have cryptocurrency. You should get into XRP. It's something that's new. The technology is great. And I'm sure 99 times out of 100, your friends are looking at you like you've got 3 heads. Denise on Twitter, that's at Kate Moss-alike, says the same kind of thing here. I do believe people think I'm crazy to believe all this digital currency nonsense, and I get laughed at a lot. Told it will never happen, so I give up, and I'm selling all my XRP and going to dig a hole and swallow me up. Nah, I'll just sit quietly and watch it all unfold. And that's the attitude to have, Denise. How many of you guys feel the same way? I want to hear what you guys think. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Like the video if you like the content I'm providing. I always love hearing your comments. See you in the next one, guys.